Hello friends, welcome to our channel Angrezi Sahitya and to this detailed video on the life of one of the greatest poets of English literature, Edmund Spenser. In this video, we will explore all aspects of Spenser's life, his early years, education, struggles, major literary works, personal life, and lasting legacy. Friends, he is best known for his epic poem, The Faerie Queene, a masterpiece that helped shape English poetry. He is one of the most important figures of the Elizabethan era. But his journey was not easy. He faced financial struggles, political conflicts, and personal hardships. Yet, he continued to create some of the most remarkable poetry in English history. Friends, Edmund Spenser was born in 1552 in London, England, during a time of great political and religious changes. Queen Elizabeth I had recently come to power, and the country was experiencing the effects of the Protestant Reformation. Spencer's family was not wealthy, but they belonged to the working middle class. His father was believed to be a cloth maker, which was a common trade in London at the time. Friends, despite his humble background, Spencer received a good education. He attended the Merchant Taylors' School, one of the best schools in London. Here, he studied Latin and Greek, the two most important languages for scholars of that time. He also read works of famous classical writers like Virgil, Ovid, and Homer, which later influenced his own poetry. Friends, at the age of 17, Spencer joined Pembroke College, Cambridge. Cambridge was a prestigious university, and Spencer had the opportunity to study with some of the greatest scholars of his time. He focused on classical literature, theology, and philosophy, and he also began writing poetry. His early works showed his deep admiration for the ancient poets, and he also experimented with new poetic forms. Life at Cambridge was not easy for Spencer. Unlike many of his classmates, he did not come from a wealthy family, which meant he had to work hard to support himself. Despite these challenges, he completed his Bachelor's of Arts degree in 1573 and his Master of Arts degree in 1576. His strong educational background helped him develop a unique poetic style that would later make him famous. Friends, after graduating from Cambridge, Spencer had to find a way to earn a living. Being a poet was not a financially stable career, so he took a job as a secretary to John Young, the Bishop of Rochester. This position allowed him to interact with scholars and important figures, but it was not a high paying or prestigious job. Friends, Spencer's big opportunity came in 1579 when he became secretary to Robert Dudley, the Earl of Leicester. Dudley was one of the most powerful men in England and a close advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. Working for Dudley brought Spencer closer to the English court, where he met influential people, including the famous poet Sir Philip Sidney. Sidney became Spencer's friend and supporter, encouraging him to continue his literary career. Friends, despite being close to powerful figures, Spencer still faced many struggles. He did not come from a noble family, which meant that his rise in society was slow. He also lacked financial security, and he had to rely on the support of wealthy patrons to continue writing. Friends, however, Spencer did not let these difficulties stop him. He continued to write and develop his poetic style. His perseverance paid off when he published his first major work, The Shepherd's Calendar, which brought him recognition and fame. Friends, now let's discuss his first major work, The Shepherd's Calendar. Friends, in 1579, Spenser published The Shepherd's Calendar, a collection of 12 poems, each representing a month of the year. This work was written in the pastoral style, which means it focused on the simple lives of shepherds, nature, and rural life. However, beneath its simple appearance, the poem contained deep message about love, religion, and politics. Friends, pastoral poetry was popular in England, but Spenser brought something new to the genre. He experimented with different poetic forms and language styles, making his work unique and innovative. He also used allegory, a technique where characters and events have hidden meanings. Friends, this allowed him to comment on the problems in society without directly criticizing the powerful people of his time. Friends, One of the reasons the Shepherd's calendar became so popular was that it combined both classical and modern influences. It was inspired by ancient Roman poets like Virgil, and it also included references to contemporary English culture and politics. This made it appealing to both scholars and general readers. The success of the Shepherd's calendar made Spenser famous in literary circles. It also helped him gain the attention of Queen Elizabeth I and the royal court. However, Spenser still needed financial support and he soon moved to Ireland to take up a government position. Friends, in 1580, Spenser moved to Ireland, where he worked as a secretary to Lord Arthur Grey, the Lord Deputy of Ireland. Ireland was under English rule and there was many conflicts between the English government and the Irish people. Spencer's job was to help manage English policies, but his time in Ireland also inspired some of his later poetry. While living in Ireland, Spenser began writing his great work, The Faerie Queene. This was an epic poem written in honor of Queen Elizabeth I. It was designed to celebrate the virtues of a noble ruler and to promote the values of cavalry, heroism, and morality. The poem told the story of knights, mythical creatures, and magical adventurers, and all set in a fantasy world. Friends, the first part of The Fairy Queen was published in 1590 and it was an instant success. The poem was written in a unique poetic form called the Spenserian stanza, which consisted of 9 lines with a specific rhyme scheme. This style was later admired and used by poets such as John Milton, John Keats, and Lord Byron. Friends, Queen Elizabeth was so impressed with the Fairy Queen that she rewarded Spencer with a pension. This was a great honor, and as it showed that the Queen herself recognized his talent. Encouraged by this success, Spencer continued to expand the poem, making it one of the longest and most complex works in English literature. And while living in Ireland, Spencer fell in love with a woman named Elizabeth Boyle. He wrote many beautiful poems about their love, and in 1594 they got married. To celebrate their love, he wrote a collection of sonnets called Amoreti, which described his courtship and feelings for Elizabeth. In 1595, Spenser wrote another poem called Epithalamion, which was dedicated to their wedding day. This poem is considered one of the most beautiful marriage poems in English literature, as it captures the joy and excitement of love and commitment. Friends, however, life in Ireland was not peaceful for Spenser. In 1598, Spenser's home was attacked during an Irish rebellion against English rule. He and his family had to flee back to England, leaving behind their property and wealth. This tragic event deeply affected Spenser. He had lost everything he had worked for in Ireland, and he struggled to rebuild his life in England. And despite his fame as a poet, Spenser's final years were filled with hardship and loss. In 1598, during the Irish rebellion against English rule, Spenser's home in Kilcolman Castle was attacked and set on fire. This forced him and his family to flee back to England, leaving behind their possessions, wealth, and land. Some accounts suggest that one of his children may have died in the attack, adding to his suffering. When Spenser returned to England, he was in a desperate situation. He had lost his income from his Irish estates and was struggling financially. Although he was a well known poet and had once received royal support, the English court did little to help him in his time of need. He submitted a petition for financial assistance, but there is no record of him receiving any significant aid. Friends, his health also began to decline rapidly. The hardships of his exile, combined with stress and lack of money, made his final months difficult. Despite his previous literary success, he was left in poverty, a fate similar to many poets of his time. Friends, on January 13, 1599, Edmund Spenser passed away at the age of 46. He was buried in Westminster Abbey near the grave of Geoffrey Chaucer, another literary legend, English poet. This burial location was a mark of high honor, showing that despite his struggles, Spenser was recognized as one of England's greatest poets. Fellow poets paid tribute to him by scattering their pens and ink on his grave, symbolizing their respect for his contribution to English literature. Friends, even though Spenser died in poverty, his literary contribution have lived on for centuries. His masterpiece, The Faerie Queene, is still regarded as one of the greatest epic poems in English literature. Its complex allegories, rich symbolism, and unique poetic form influenced many later writers, including John Milton, John Keats, William Wordsworth, and Lord Byron. Friends, one of Spenser's greatest achievements was his development of the Spenserian stanza, a nine-line poetic structure that became famous in English poetry. This stanza form, with its unique rhythm and rhyme scheme, was later used by poets such as Byron in Childe Harold's Pilgrimage. His style also inspired the later development of romantic and allegorical poetry. Friends, his contribution to pastoral poetry with The Shepherd's Calendar helped revive interest in classical poetic traditions while adapting them to the English language. The way he blended medieval romance with the Renaissance humanist ideals made his work unique and timeless. Today, Spenser's influence can still be seen in literature and academic studies. His works are widely studied in universities, and his poetic techniques are admired by scholars and poets alike. Despite the hardships he faced in his lifetime, he left behind a literary legacy that continues to shape English poetry. Thank you for watching this video, friends. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of Edmund Spenser, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more literary content. See you in the next video. Keep exploring the world of literature. Thank you.